to today's rant. Welcome. Got some awesome, encouraging things to talk about. And this is the day that the Lord has made, and every day is. So let's don't mess them up. One way you can not mess them up is trust God, believe in Him, hope in Him. Now, while we're waiting for more people to join us, it takes a few people to some time to get on, but I tell you, we are having an amazing time here at MorningStar at Heritage. Truly remarkable things are breaking out, happening. And you know, the outpouring of the Holy Spirit is called an outpouring, not a downpouring. It always comes through God's people. And it is coming through right now. And but while we're waiting for others to join us, just a couple of things I want to point out. That the makeup of America, from the time this has been measured or studied, which preceded the Revolutionary War, we have been a divided nation, not a united nation. Well, we've been united in some ways, many ways. But we've also been a divided nation, and I think we're supposed to be. You know, if very close to a 30-30 division has been the political makeup of our country. 30% liberal, 30% conservative, and the 40% of the rest of the people are somewhere in between and may gravitate a little bit towards one side or the other. But if you took America, getting this from political science and scientists, that if you took America on a scale of 1 being the extreme left and 10 being the extreme right, America has consistently been what we would call a 6. Right-leaning centrist. But we lean to the right. In spite of what the last election came out as, I think it was very corrupted, and I believe there's a lot of fraud that led to the results that we have right now. And I think there are a multitude of people that are saying this will not stand. This is an illegitimate government. But what I want to do is, and what I think is even more important right now than getting people's favor and to mobilizing people, is to get the Lord's favor to return to our country. That's my emphasis. Now, I don't think, but looking at things the way they are, I don't think there's anything that could have mobilized the right and the conservatives better than the Democrats are doing right now. Impeaching Trump, I mean, the incredible madness, blaming the whole Capitol Hill attacks on Trump supporters, and there were some involved, no doubt. But from every single person I talked to, there were far more Antifa members there, wearing Trump hats, MAGA hats, everything else, but talking like Antifa. Jesus said, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. He said they were the main ones that broke in, and there's a lot of video evidence of that. There's video evidence of the police waving the protesters up and in, and then all of a sudden tear gassing. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that went on there, but the media is going to spin it the way that fits its political agenda. We know that. But one thing I think is very obvious, you know, the Rasmussen poll that only 23% of Americans, that's not even collecting your whole 30% that are almost always on the left, only 23% said they believed America was now headed in the right direction. Now, what are we going to do? What are the states going to do? Is there going to be a third party? I know Trump has mentioned this. I think it's highly likely. You know, the there are heroes in our Congress, there are heroes in our courts and the legal profession, everything else that are fighting the good fight of faith. But the overwhelming majority have, I think, lost the confidence of the American people. And as long as we are still a Democratic Republic, and that's questionable right now, after the last election it is questionable whether we still are, but if we are, the people are the sovereign, not those that we elect. And they work for us, not the other way around. Now, when Biden does things like he's done to call Trump supporters potential domestic terrorists, it couldn't be more divisive than that. There are things like that being said, not just by him, but by others. It's just throwing fuel on the fire, and listen, that fire is growing. But my belief is that we still can have this settled in a much more peaceful manner. I think we need to do everything we can to avoid violence. But I also agree there is a time, when it is going to take rising up in an armed insurrection. The Founding Fathers said that. That was the real reason for the Second Amendment, so that the American people could rise up against their government if it, to counter the tyranny that would come from the government, if it did. And so, these are all issues. And then right in the midst of this, a man that friends of mine know him, I've never met him personally, but friends know him very well. He's a relatively young Christian, I believe, has stood up with remarkable courage, remarkable boldness. And as I've been saying for years, the people are going to follow courage. I'm talking about Mike Lindell of My Pillow. All the big box retail stores took his products out of their stores. I think other, big distributors said they would not distribute them anymore. He doubled down. He didn't care about their threats. He's got a bigger purpose than just making money. He would risk everything, I think, as he has in fact done, for his country and for defending our democratic republic. Done it in an amazing way. And you may have seen his video that is going around that he did on the election fraud, that is just, it's been banned from all of the social media. That just flamed the fire. I think we're really starting to see an end run around social media. Everybody I know is sending that copy of that video that Mike Lindell did, laying out the details of the fraud that was in our election. It's going everywhere. I get it sent to me over and over. Sometimes several times a day, people are sending it to me. You got to see this. Well, watch this. I'm also getting texts, emails, everything else saying we have to buy Mike Lindell's products. Do whatever you take. Order something from Mike Lindell. I think we're going to see what happened to Chick-fil-A. Remember when they took their stand? And the LGBTQ community said, we're going to shut down Chick-fil-A. Well, Chick-fil-A has never in their history had the kind of business that flooded them immediately. I think the same is going to happen with Mike Lindell. I think My Pillow is about to explode. And you know what? Since he doesn't have to go through all these middlemen, My Pillow is going to benefit from this. But anyway, what a great hero. And I think you're going to see many other true patriots arising in these times with great courage and boldness that's going to encourage others to do the same. And you're starting to sense, I hope you are, I am, everything that's coming at me, you're starting to sense, I'm starting to sense a groundswell of people saying, we're not going to take this anymore. We're not going to let our elections be stolen. We're not going to let fraud control our country and dictate the course of our country. We're not going to let those who would destroy our democratic republic run our country. We are going to take the authority. We, the people, are going to take the authority. Our Constitution invests in us. And the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, not the Supreme Court, not anybody else, not the federal government, not the president, not the Congress. Our Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Guess what? There are those who are rising to defend that Constitution, as every elected official and every appointed officer of our government has taken an oath to do, but only a fraction seem to do it. Most of them seem to end up attacking the Constitution, including our Supreme Court. And but I tell you, there's a groundswell. There is something rising right now. I think you're going to see it grow and grow and grow. Now, I've been doing these rants since 2014, maybe a little earlier than that. And I share with some of my friends that when I inquired of the Lord in 2014 who our next president would be, he said he wasn't going to tell me who, but he would tell me what we needed. He said we needed an alley fighter, someone who could fight in a lot of directions at once. And then he said something I absolutely have total confidence in, total trust in. He said patriotism is going to win. The true patriots in America are going to win. Now, it's not going to look like they're winning for maybe a long time, but you can absolutely count on it happening. Now, that's why I've supported Donald Trump from the beginning. As soon as he threw his in, I said, that's the alley fighter. And I really love Ben Carson. I love, Senator Cruz. A lot of my friends were supporting them, and I really appreciate them. But they weren't alley fighters. Not on the level that they were fighters. They were warriors for the truth. But Trump is like, can you imagine anyone enduring the kind of constant daily attacks that man took and still accomplish what he did as president, which I think is more than any president in my lifetime by a huge margin. Not only that, he did something we just are not used to seeing in our presidents. He kept his promises. He did what he said he was going to do. That's an amazing level of integrity. Everybody has flaws and problems, and they have a history. Every human being has but one. But I tell you, he has a remarkable record as president. I am so thankful for him. Whatever he's going to do, he's going to rally a lot of people. He could start a third party and easily win re-election. Now, I don't know. There's still all kinds of stuff going on out there about, schemes to do this or that. I don't pay a lot of attention to a lot of the chatter. I hear it. I get my inbox filled up with them, my texts filled up with them. Some are good and insightful, worth reading, but worth listening to. But in general, I want to hear from above, and sometimes all that can kind of crowd out the still small voice of God. But I know this: He has not given up on us, and we are going to see the one who began a good work in America, and he did begin it. We're going to see him complete it. That was a squirrel just ran by. I've been feeding them every day since my dogs are gone. They're getting really close. I can just about get them to eat out of my hand now. But anyway, lest I digress, which I just did, don't give up on your country. Don't give up on the Lord. He's got a plan. I think every day We wait to see his plan unfold. We're seeing more and more exposed that needs to be exposed. He has the perfect wisdom, knows exactly what to do. That's why our true faith is faith in God, not just an outcome we want. Now, there are times to pray for specific things without question, and he likes that. But for some things, he likes us to just trust him. Trust him. But the great awakening that we desperately need for our country to survive and to fulfill our purpose, that he began a good work in us to fulfill, he will complete it. But that great awakening, I don't know if anything could have woken up the church, woken up conservatives, woken up patriots, like things that are going on in our country right now. Be encouraged, but let's don't just get our courage from people being rallied and mobilizing and all. Let's get our courage from above. Let's get our encouragement from above. And the one who sits on the throne, and keep our eyes on him. Thank you for joining today's rant. And also, just like to finish by saying that I so appreciate all the encouragement, all the comments you guys make on these rants, and how you share them with your friends and contacts and all that. It's starting to spike our reach up again and on social media. I think our reach has continued to grow from our other sources, but we're working on some products right now, including an alternative news source that we're well into, that we're determined to be committed to absolute integrity, not political spin, not any other kind of influence, but integrity in reporting, but also be a platform for voices that get shut out of social media and things like that. And you'll be hearing more about this in the future. I think it's something God is really in. Appreciate many contributions have come in for this, serious ones, and more people are saying they want to be a part of it. But we want you to be a part. Consider being a part as a reporter. You'll hear more from us about this. Check our website. But the first, the Zoom webinar thing we did, I was hoping to get 30 people, honestly. And we got 175 were on that Zoom call. And we had to expand by more space. And the energy was incredible. And usually, you can get a big bunch of people to jump on things like that, but then they drift off in a few minutes. We only lost one person the whole night. And we're going to be doing another Zoom call for that coming up very soon. You can go to MorningStar, things like that are announced on our webpage. We also send it out on social media and everything. But get on that Zoom call if you have any interest. You can be an amazingly effective reporter with your smartphone. And we're mobilizing an army of people committed to truth and integrity who are going to be available to show the other side of the story in anything that is getting twisted and distorted by our media today. Wait and see. Thank you for joining me for today's rant.